The Brits abroad. What do we like when we go on holiday? What do we like when we go to another country? And what do we like to do? This is the English Right Now podcast. Welcome. It's a podcast with a real conversation, and we teach you 10 pieces of vocabulary. Well, at least 10 pieces of vocabulary related to the subject along the way. And joining me for this chat is my dear friend Rob. Hello.
Hello, Roy. Hi, everybody. Nice to be here again.
I love your hello today. We try to
you.
hello, good afternoon. We try to every week we're trying to get more more wonderfully poetic on that word somehow.
Yes. Very good
But we've talked about British people going on holiday in the UK, and now it's time to talk about the Brits abroad. Brits abroad. This is a classic thing. British people abroad. Abroad means away from one's country on holiday. So Brits abroad. Do you think we have a good reputation? Let's start off strong.
I don't think we do, unfortunately. And I think it's a little unfair because, yes, there are exceptions. And some people do perhaps embarrass us a bit, drink a bit too much, don't integrate with the local cultures. And then people go, oh, typical Brits. But honestly, we're not all like that.
No. In fact, a lot of us don't really want to associate with that sort of idea. I think there's this very much an image of us being like pickled lobsters. Pickled is an informal way to say drunk. Oh, he's pickled. To say drunk. Lobster, it refers to this idea that we just get sunburnt. We need to talk about this. Sunburnt, where we go absolutely red. So we're like pickled lobsters on the beach who can't speak a word of the local language.
Yes.
I think that's the kind of thing. Sunburnt is where we get sort of red from the sun, where we're not protecting ourselves.
Yeah, and I think that's true about
the
sun. Yeah, sunburn. Yeah, I think getting the sun is an important part of our holiday experience, though, because we live in this quite gloomy climate in the UK. I think that's one of the main reasons why people do like to go abroad is to go and catch some rays, the sun rays, take in the sun and feel warm, and preferably come home with a tan. Not a burn. They want to come home looking sort of healthier, not bright red. But as you mentioned, what often happens is people get straight on the beach, lie there in the sun without any sun cream on, and they're as red as a lobster by the end of the day.
Usually day one, and then they spend the rest of the holiday feeling unwell. Yes. I have two shades. I am like the moon or I am red. I do not tan for some reason. But you're right. In this country, it's very overcast. So that means it's cloudy, basically. Yeah. And we don't get as much vitamin D as we like. So a lot of people do try to catch some rays, which means sort of get some sun, which is another way of saying that. And we even have this expression, soak up some sun, or soak up some sun. Or and that basically means to get some sun into our skin kind of idea. Not as common as that once was, I don't think, that expression, but it still exists.
Yeah.
So we've talked about the Brits abroad, and yes, I feel very embarrassed when I see this kind of culture. I think it's a section of society often related to the impression is football fans, although I think we've been better recently. I think football fans, when we go away, sometimes it gets a bit heated, but I think, that can happen. And also maybe teenagers and young adults going to places like Ibiza, Benidorm, these sort of places where there are clubs and pubs, and drinking is kind of almost that's what they do. That's what the British do when they go.
There's a word for you, very hedonistic kind of a holiday, yes.
The pursuit of pleasure. To be hedonistic is to always look or seek pleasure. Tell me about your perfect holiday, Rob, before I get my checkbook out.
It's oh, you're treating me. Fantastic. Oh, well, in that case.
Only if it's down the road.
Okay, no. Perfect holiday for me. So I don't think I'm the sort of person you would see on the beach, red or getting very drunk. You'd be pleased to know.
Good.
But I do like to go abroad because I like to experience other cultures. Take in the culture of a place, the language, the food, the traditions. I like to do that. I do like to head for places that are warmer. I think traditionally the Brits do like to go somewhere warmer, as I've mentioned, because of our climate. But not always. Sometimes you might want to go to Iceland to see the volcanoes or somewhere colder. But as a general rule, I like to go somewhere warm, so I can spend the whole holiday in my shorts. That's one pleasure. But take in the culture, see some new things, experience some new things, and relax as well, of course.
Yeah.
So
taking the culture is one of our.
Yeah, taking the culture. Sorry, I would say some examples are, I do like Spain. There's some beautiful parts of Spain, and other Mediterranean countries as well. Italy, Croatia, all great places to head for. And then further afield, I've been lucky enough to be to places like Costa Rica, very exotic, very different from what we experience in the UK. So places like that are good too.
Yeah. So you use two key pieces of vocabulary. Take in the culture means to get to know the local customs, the traditions, the language, the food, these kind of things. Really, I like to have a bash. This is another good, have a go, an informal way to say have a go at the local language. Certainly, please and thank you. But to take in the culture means to go to things like museums and art galleries and things like this. And you also use the word exotic, which means very, very different to what we are used to, but it's often associated with things like kind of tropical climates for us, rainforests and things like this. So Brazil is very exotic for me. When I moved there, it was like, wow, wonderful. I saw toucans and I saw these beautiful red Amazonian parrots. Oh my goodness. And I was like, I was in paradise. So yeah, that's exotic as well. Often something very, very different to our own experience and culture, usually related to being tropical. For us, I think that sounds like I quite like going off the beaten path. This is a key piece of vocabulary. Off the beaten path means going to places where people don't usually go. So everybody goes to these tourist traps. And this is another good piece of vocabulary there.
Yes,
a tourist trap is things that basically designed to catch tourists and get them to go there. I like to go the other way and explore the real place. So instead of when I was in Las Vegas, everybody wanted to go to the strip where all the casinos are, and I wanted to go to real Las Vegas. So I went down the back streets, which is where they tell you not to go. Actually, I loved it. It's like So
what did you find? What did you find?
Bars.
Yeah.
Pubs that nobody went to that were for locals, and I loved it. I do now. I've got a family and a young child. I do like a package holiday now. A package holiday includes like flights and your hotel and everything, all included. Kind of this all inclusive is another thing we need to talk about. But a package holiday is everything together: flights, hotel, transfers, everything. It's like you just pay an amount and then you go sometimes to a resort. That's package holiday. That's one of the key pieces of vocabulary. I do like those these days. We often get package holidays to Spain, Italy, Turkey, these kind of places.
Yeah, it is easier because it just involves booking. You book it all together, and then also it's more secure, isn't it? So if one part of the holiday fails, the hotel burns down or the airline company closes down, you're protected, aren't you, as well, by booking that package holiday? So it's safer. Yeah,
and also there's less to think about. I think that's the thing as well. As a kind of when I was single and I didn't have to worry about other people, I could just book a flight and then worry about the hotels later. And I would just jet off, which is an informal way to jet off. You can use that as well, but I would jet off, which means catch a plane and go somewhere without really kind of overbooking everything. It's very. I was a little bit. More.
Leaving things to chance. Yeah, turning up somewhere and hoping you can find a hotel or a guest house or somewhere to sleep, and
much
but
you can't really do that when you've got a child.
No, sure. Although I have to say, I mean, I'm not a big fan of package holidays. Although I can see the advantages, I still like to book my holiday independently. So I'll find a cheap flight somewhere, book that, and it's very easy these days, isn't it? With the internet and all the apps. Book a cheap flight, a budget flight somewhere, and then I'll book a hotel, and then I might rent a car, and then kind of work it out myself. I feel more in control, I suppose.
No, it's I agree, and you can save money that way as well, and can be more fun. I would say. I think I never with with hotels, you have the option to go all inclusive, which basically means all of your meals are included. Or you can go, you can choose to maybe have one meal a day there as well. I don't often, an all inclusive can also include alcohol. I went to a resort in Brazil that was an all inclusive resort. And I do think that that's where sometimes the British, uh, it can be an issue, because even there I was like, oh, challenge accepted.
Yes. We tend
All
to
inclusive, let's go.
we tend to overindulge when
Yeah,
when there's lots on offer for free. You think, oh, I'm going to get my money's worth here. Let's eat and drink as much as I can. And the Brits are terrible at that. Yeah,
yeah. This is why I don't go to all you can eat restaurants, because I see it as a challenge. But this is the thing as well. This is mentality. But at the resort, I did, after about the first couple of drinks, I suddenly thought there's no need to rush. Whereas I do think some British people, or some people in general, may go a little bit further.
yes.
And
But,
that's
but
where,
just to say, though, of course, an all-inclusive holiday can be good value because it does include everything,
yes,
doesn't it? The downside is, some people say, is because you always eat in the hotel because all the food's free, you never go and
yeah,
experience a local restaurant, do you? And it doesn't help the local
no,
economy necessarily.
no. And I love that you said that as well, because that's the illusion, isn't it? You said, because all of the food is free, and it's not free, we've already paid for it. But this is the illusion, isn't it? You get really excited. Oh, the food is free. No, you've paid an extra £1,000 for that food. But no,
Yeah.
and this is the thing as well. It's this kind of almost a trick. But I do like going to local restaurants and, as you say, taking in the local culture. I do like. I mean, now I've got a young child. It's a bit different. But again, I like to go outside my comfort zone. That's a
Mm,
key piece of vocabulary. Your comfort zone are things that you're very, very comfortable with. It's okay. It feels safe. And if you
mm,
go outside your comfort zone, key pieces of vocabulary, uh, we we basically are maybe in un, unfamiliar territory where, it's not as comfortable, it's not as safe, not as normal.
mm.
And by this, it doesn't mean in a dangerous place. It means maybe you're doing something you wouldn't usually do, like a bungee jump, or you are experimenting with the local language. I think sometimes when we're learning other languages, we need to go outside our comfort zone and kind of maybe engage more with people to kind of practice. I often say to my students, practice, go outside your comfort. This thing. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's good to push the boundaries a bit, not do something that's, yeah, as you say, you can do easily without thinking
Yeah,
about it. Yeah, try things that, okay, make you feel slightly nervous and anxious, but then you do
yeah.
it, and then of course you feel okay. It's all gone okay. So that's the same with learning language, but also when you're traveling, you might think, oh, I don't want to go down this street here, or I don't want to go and try this new experience. I'm not used to it. And then you do it, and you
I
think,
would always say, be very aware and stay safe. I mean, if it looks like
yeah,
a dangerous street, then don't go down it. That's
no,
not push. That's not going outside your comfort zone necessarily. That's possibly risk taking,
mm,
which is a slight difference thing. Comfort zone, maybe just, maybe you're not used to eating food that is similar to the local culture. So
yeah,
try it.
yeah.
You don't have to be the bravest person in the world. I'll be honest. I'm never going to do a bungee jump. No, no. That's so far removed from my comfort zone.
Yeah,
No,
that's a very uncomfortable zone, isn't it? That I wouldn't want to
that
go to.
sounds like hell on earth to me. I
Yeah,
don't I don't mind the jumping actually. I wouldn't like it, but I don't mind the jumping. It's the idea of the bottom bit where you just and it feels like all your organs. I don't know.
yeah.
Don't know. No, thank you. Have you bungee jumped? Ever done a bungee
No, I
jump?
wouldn't know. You could pay me £1,000,000 and I still wouldn't do it. Thank you very
I'll
much.
put my checkbook back in then.
We'll leave that one. But generally, I think no, going out of your comfort zone though, maybe experiencing a new country, a new culture. As they say, travel broadens the mind, doesn't it?
Yes, good expression. Travel makes you more aware of what's out there, things like this. And we've talked a lot about kind of longer holidays. There's a couple of things that we still need to mention as well. But also we have city breaks, which I really enjoy, which is where you go to a
Mm,
city like Prague or Madrid, Barcelona, Milan for maybe a few days. And it's a holiday that we're not going there for the beaches or the kind of thing. We're literally going to see another city. And I quite like those holidays. So I quite, I live on an island, which is very rural, and I quite like seeing cities, especially cities with other architectural styles, other culture, things like this. What kind of hotels do you usually stay in?
You think I'm going to say I stay in a 5-star hotel, don't you? Because I look that kind of guy.
You.
5-star,
Like that
top
kind of guy.
notch. The best hotels are 5-star. Yeah, swimming
The
pools.
creme de la creme, as they say.
Bars, yeah, great food. Anyway, I don't stay in those. No, I usually stay in a budget hotel. Even when I take the family, we all squeeze together in a family room in a budget hotel because money's tight, isn't it? And hotels can be expensive. Even cheap hotels can be expensive in other cities. So yeah, I'm a budget kind of guy, not a 5-star person.
I like that. Budget hotel means basically cheap, non-inexpensive hotel. Basically, 5 stars. So my checkbook is coming back out for you, Rob. Now you don't stay in 5-star hotels. That's good. And the other thing as well, quite often there's one word we need: transfers. So when you arrive at the airport, you get a transfer to your hotel. Which can be in the case of London, we usually use the tube. You can get airport transfers, but most people just take public transport. It's easy.
And it's quicker, I think, sometimes, because if you go on in a vehicle, you get stuck in the traffic, doesn't it? So the quickest way is usually by train or tube, into the city.
Yeah,
but it's quite nice sometimes. You go on holiday, and you get to you've been on a long flight. You get off the plane, and there's a transfer waiting for you to take you straight to your hotel. Then you don't have to think about, what ticket do I need to buy, and where's the station, all that kind of stuff. There's somebody waiting for you, usually with your name on a little board.
Yeah.
And you get in the minibus or the bus or the taxi, and they take you straight to the hotel. That's a bit of
my name always goes wrong. I end up with like Rob Woodlouse or something, and I'm like, it's Roy Woodhouse. And they're like, no, Rob Woodlouse. And I'm always thinking, is there another Rob Woodlouse? I always think, is there another one? But I students and people often ask me, do you like going on holiday? And I don't. I always shock. Yeah, no, even shocked.
Yes, I'm shocked.
I don't like going on holiday. I like being on holiday.
Okay.
I like if you could get me in some kind of Star Trek fashioned kind of teleportation device, a transporter, which I could stand in here and then just bing over in Prague and somewhere like that. I would absolutely pay a fortune to do that. But I do go on holiday. I hate the airport. I hate the stress of the packing the bags. Have you got the passport? Everybody got the passport. Everybody got everything. Everybody okay? That for me is a bit stressful. But I do like when I'm there. And I tend to, this summer I'm going away to Spain, and I'm thinking that, and I think that I might actually catch the train.
Yes.
Rather, because I think I'd enjoy the train more. I'd enjoy going on holiday via train more than plane, I think.
Yeah. The journey then will be part of the experience, wouldn't it? It's a bit more relaxing. Takes longer, but it's more relaxing, isn't it, on the train? Bigger seats, watch the countryside go by.
Love that.
The train to Spain, perfect. I like it.
The train to Spain is mainly on, I don't know, in the rain. It sounds like that old saying, doesn't it? The rain in Spain mainly falls on the plane, or whatever it was. That's how we practice that. But the final thing we need to talk about is British people and the pool.
Yes.
So one of our key pieces of vocabulary was poolside. So it basically means by the side of the swimming pool. British people are quite famous for trying to get down there very early and putting their towels on these kind of. There is a stereotype, isn't there?
There is a stereotype.
There is a famous stereotype that the British and the Germans try to get there as early as possible to put their towels on, and you can tell as if this is true. And this is the whole stereotype. And British people are often second, and we get there and there's already towels on everything. We're like, oh no, there's nowhere to sit.
This is so annoying, isn't it? So you've got those sunbeds by the pool side, and people get there early to put their towels down. But the annoying thing is then they go off, don't they, and have breakfast or something. And that's really
claiming your territory, isn't it, with a flag, like stick a flag in it. But yeah,
Even
like
you're going to use it for a few hours, but your towel is there, so therefore it means reserved. Do not sit
I've
here.
seen people really argue over this though. Really get angry. Like, I want my towel, and there's nobody sitting here. You know, people moving the towels of other people sometimes, and it's that's how arguments start. But on the whole, I would say that the British abroad these days, I think we've got an unfair reputation of being a heavy drinking, loutish behavior is this kind of aggressive, kind of angry behavior, loutish, loud, and uneducated behavior. But I think on the whole, British people abroad, quite often what you'll get is families going away, cheap package holidays, all inclusive to Spain or to Italy, and things like this. I think we do still have that youth drinking culture, but I think it's less than it was in the 90s and 2000s. But yeah, so where's your next holiday, Rob? Before we
Oh, well, yeah, my next holiday, and I do like a holiday, Roy, is to Montenegro and Bosnia. I'm really looking forward to that.
You love to jet off to some wonderful places, don't you? I love this. I would love to go there. I think that would be stunning. I've heard Serbia is also very nice in the same region.
Yeah. That whole Balkan area, I really want to explore. I've heard it's beautiful. So I'll see some of you there in the summer. Okay?
Are you getting a train there?
No, a little bit too far.
If you drive, I'll sit with you. I'll film our journey
with you for 2 days. No, thanks.
2 days. I wouldn't sit in the car with myself for 2 days. Gosh.
One thing I was going to say, Roy, is that what is interesting when you travel the world, there are Brits everywhere traveling, aren't there? Not just in Europe, which is popular, but I found that every corner of the world you go to, there are some Brits traveling or on holiday.
Yeah. British people and an Irish pub in most places that I've ever been to. There's always there's either a British themed pub, but mainly an Irish themed pub in every city and town. But yeah, so we've talked a lot about Brits abroad, and I hope everybody out there can forgive us for that drinking culture. But it's not all of us. But on that note, if you do have any suggestions for future lessons, please do let us know in the comments below. There's been some great vocabulary that we've learned today, at least 10, probably a lot more, to be honest. And of course, thank you for joining me, Rob.
It's been a pleasure. Now, if you don't mind, I need to go off and book another holiday, yeah?
Of course you do. Of course you do. Well, I'll see you in Spain or Serbia or wherever you're going next. Have a great one.
I'll send you a postcard.
Of course you will. Wish you weren't here. Glad you're not here. That's what he'll say. Thank you very much, Rob. It was lovely to see you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.